Well, hey everybody. Welcome to the update stream. This is Bugs here. I'm joined today by Artemis and Miss D. Say hi, guys.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, guys.
Well, it is that time again. Update time is just around the corner. The update should be hitting in just under an hour. And it is a forced map wipe, as all first Thursdays are. So all servers will be map wiping when this update hits. Now, with blueprint wipes, there's no forced blueprint wipe, but a lot of servers, including most Rustafied servers, do choose to wipe blueprints when the update hits. The exception at Rustafied is our long 3, medium 3, and mini servers do not wipe blueprints. So if you're looking for a non-blueprint wipe experience, do check those servers out. And as always, you can go to rustafied.com/discord. And in our Discord, there's a server information channel that shows everything you need to know about each server when they wipe and the map and all that good stuff. But we are over here on the staging branch, and as always, we're going to show you off what is going on with this update, what you as a player need to know. And now before we get into it, as always, if you have questions as we're going through this, feel free to do at MissD_, that's me, in chat, and we'll get to as many questions as we have the opportunity to. So what do we got coming in this update? Well, for anyone who's been tracking the development progress, you'll know that there's a big world update thing going on. And that's like some huge changes to procedural maps, some new monuments, some oases and canyons and rivers and lakes. Now, I do want to preface by saying that is not going live this month. It is going live. It looks like they're shooting for the October update. So next month is going to be that huge, big world update. That being said, that world update stuff was made available on the aux2 branch just this morning. And so we're going to be here next week showing off all the stuff in the world update on the aux2 branch. I'm also, once this is done today, I'm going to go on there and start taking some pictures, and I'll tweet some pictures and add them to my article on rustafied.com today, just to give people a preview. And then next week we'll have a full summary of what's going on in the world update. All to say, October is going to be a very exciting update as well, but it is not coming in today. I know there's a lot of hype around it, so I just wanted to clarify that off the bat. But we do have some very cool stuff coming in today nonetheless. And as always, we're going to go through it. And also, again, as always, at MissD_, that's me, in chat for any questions you have. But what do we got going on? First and foremost, a digital clock is coming in. And this digital clock is a deployable item. It costs 100 metal frags. It's a level 2 workbench item. And it's pretty cool because along with showing the in-game time, and this is the first device we've had that actually shows the in-game time in 24-hour HH:MM format. You know, that good old-fashioned digital clock format. Along with that, it has the ability to have up to 5 alarms programmed for it. Now, along with when the alarm goes off, it has a little classic digital clock beeping alarm sound. But on top of that, it has an electronic pass-through. And so what you can do is have it trigger that electronic pass-through when the alarm goes off. And this can be used for a number of things. It can be used to have a light go off. It can be used to turn on a boombox. It can be used to open or close doors. It can also be used to turn on your electric furnaces and things of that nature. There is also a mute button, so if you don't want the alarm actually making noise, you can toggle that mute button. And through this nifty UI, when you go E and then to configure, you can very easily just set the different alarms. You can toggle whether they're active or not. So if you want an alarm for maybe some days of the week, but not others, you can toggle them off without having to totally reset the alarm. And you can just get a sense for the in-game server time, what time of day it is, without like looking at the sun and just guessing. And use these alarms to really just activate any electronic device you like. So it's pretty all encompassing. It's got a lot of different opportunities and possibilities with utilization with the electronic items in the game. The power usage is one, so you do need to power it up. As you imagine, it's a digital clock, it's going to need power, but it just needs one power. And it's not a default blueprint, but pretty obtainable as a tier 2 item. You can see it in the dark as well, which is nice. So even if it's night, you can kind of see what time of night it is. It is only 24-hour in format, so there's no AM, PM. So for all you people, specifically in the US, who are not used to 24-hour time formats, well, this is your opportunity to practice and get more familiar with it. And again, it just costs 100 metal frags, so it's pretty easy to craft. And you can deploy it on walls and you can deploy it on tables and things like that as well. So you can get a nice little digital alarm clock right on your table next to your bed in your base. And yeah, use it to know when to wake up and things of the like. So that is the digital clock. Now, also next to the clock, you can see we've got a bunch of wallpapers in the mix here. And this is a very cool new addition to the game. And what it is just some decorations in the form of wallpapers to decorate the inside of your base. Now, these do only place on the soft side of walls, so the inside of any wall can have one of these wallpapers placed on it. It is very simple to craft, very cheap to craft. It's even cheaper than last week because if you tuned in previous weeks, we showed this off and it was originally 20 cloth to craft one wallpaper. But Alistair did a great thing yesterday where he made it only 10 cloth and that crafts 2 wallpapers at a time. So each wallpaper is really only 5 cloth to craft, so it's pretty cheap. Now, if you're thinking, ooh, is this going to add extra protection to my base? No, it will not. As you can imagine, it is very easy to remove these wallpapers. It's like 5 or 6 hits with a hatchet, or if you place it soon enough, you can remove it with a hammer, but they do get destroyed very easily. And as you're whacking at the wallpaper, it does damage the wall behind it as well. So there's absolutely no raid protection provided by these. They are just for aesthetic purposes. Now, as you're looking around here, you can see there's a bunch of different types. Now, these different types, the ones with the patterns and the wainscoting and the sky and all that stuff, these are all part of a DLC going live today, the Wallpaper Pack DLC. We haven't seen it on the item store yet, but I imagine it's going to be there momentarily. So I don't know the price point. I imagine it's going to be in line with other DLCs we've seen, probably around $10 US, something like that. And I don't know the exact, I feel like there's probably like 15 or so different wallpapers. I don't know the exact count, but and this doesn't even necessarily represent all of them. We were kind of behind or under the wire here as we were going live. So you can see some repeats and everything. I just added a randomization. And you know what? I'll change it up so you can see maybe a new randomization. Maybe you can see some of the new wallpapers. Oh, there's a lot of those yellow or orange ones in there. And I'll randomize it again. And you can see there's a bunch of patterns, a bunch of cool looking designs to make the inside of your base just really spruced up. Now, if you recall, when these first went on staging, there were some really cool glowing ones. There were 2 glowing ones, in fact, one glowing just on the bottom and one glowing on the top and the bottom. Unfortunately, those have been removed. We're not seeing those in the game. I don't know if they're going to save them for some other time or if the devs kind of looked at it and said, you know what, those are too OP and we're not going to add them to the game. I thought they were pretty cool, in fact, and would provide a lot of great, opportunity for getting around in the dark in your base and everything. They didn't illuminate things around you, but they did glow. But those nevertheless have been removed. Needless to say, though, there's a bunch of great patterns in here. And if you're not into supporting the developers through buying DLCs, then but you still like wallpapers, don't worry. It looks like there's like 4 kind of more simple options. You can see the green one, there's an orange or a yellow one, a red one, and a blue one. And I believe those are just default options. So everyone can have some wallpapers. But if you want to get real fancy pants with it, you're going to have to spring for the DLC. Now, what else with the wallpapers? It is a default blueprint, so it's really easy to craft. Once again, it's only 10 cloth, and 10 cloth in like 5 seconds will craft you two of them. And then to change the wallpaper skin, you can either use your trusty spray can, or what you can do is actually select the skin prior to crafting. And that's probably what you want to do most of the time. You'll know kind of what wallpaper you want to decorate your base with. And when you're crafting it, you can just, select what skin you want and craft it as such. But again, we do expect that wallpaper DLC pack to be available on the item store shortly. And let me just check again, actually.
I just checked. I couldn't see it.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll keep an eye on the item store and see when it is available, but I expect it to be live on the item store just around when the update goes live. So you can, in your first base after Force Wipe today, decorate it inside at least in a way you've never been able to decorate in Rust before. So that's another cool thing coming in today. Now, next on the list, we have a new weapon modification. And this weapon mod is actually the first internal weapon mod that we've seen, I believe. And what it's called is the gas compression overdrive. And what it does basically is it uses compressed gases inside the barrel or inside the gun to direct the gases through the barrel. And what this does is it gives you an extra 30% boost in projectile velocity and a 20% jump in damage. So it makes the bullets go faster and it makes them do more damage. Now, there is a trade off with this because it will slow down your fire rate by like 20% and it'll add extra kick. You can imagine, if you just think about it logically, the bullets going faster out of your weapon, you're going to have more recoil. So it ups the recoil by 10% and slows down the fire rate because also it's got to build that compression, right? And so there is a trade-off. You get more velocity, more damage, but less fire rate and more recoil. And we can show up some of the recoil here as we shoot up our wallpaper. And you can see the recoil is going to be a bit higher. Now, also, if you're like, oh my God, people are going to add this to like sniper rifles and just be one-shotting people all over the place. Well, that's not the case because this mod is not available on all weapons. Based on what we've seen, it's available currently on the SAR, the custom SMG, the Thompson, the M39, the M29 pistol, and the semi-auto pistol. So it's only available on certain weapons as to not be abused by people sniping and things like that. But it does pack a bigger punch. Sorry as I flip over my words there, but you get a bigger punch with each shot at the expense of slightly slower fire rate and slightly more recoil. Now, the crafting cost of this is a 10 high quality metal, like a lot of the other mods. It's 30 seconds to craft, and it is a level 2 workbench item. And to research one, you're going to see it's 125 scrap. So if you find someone with these or you find it in loot, if you're lucky enough, then you'll just need 125 scrap to be able to craft it. And yeah, it's 30 seconds to craft, and then you just apply it. It takes up one weapon mod spot. It looks like it can be used in conjunction with the other weapon mods. So like, whatever other weapon mod you want to use, it doesn't look like it interferes with that at all based on what we're seeing. And once again, that is the gas compression overdrive. Give you quicker bullets, more damage at the cost of fire rate and recoil. And that is something else going live today. Now, next on the list, we have the colorblind options. This is a great new options menu in the escape menu. If you go to options, you can see accessibility colorblind options has been added. And this is great, one, if you're colorblind and you've just been having a hard time seeing certain shit in the game. But also, I feel like a lot of other people might want to use this just to be able to see certain elements of the game easier. Now, you can't change every single thing, but you can change a lot. The tree marker, color, the health bar, and those vital, like, bars on the bottom. You can change team name color, and enemy name, and ally name, and the monument blocked. Even the mushrooms can change color. And probably coolest of all, the holo sight, the little reticle and the holo sight can have a different color now as well. And the laser detector, so the laser can have a different color as well. Now, you can't get a full spectrum like RGB selector with this. They did limit it to three different options, as far as colors are concerned, because they don't want people, I think, going crazy. In fact, some have four different options, but it is a limited number of options of what colors you can select for each different item or type of thing in the game. But it's pretty cool. You can change a lot of different stuff for your preference. And really, if you're colorblind, you should have a much easier time seeing certain things. And you can see, depending on what the item is, then you can have different color options for that. And they even have different presets for different types of color blindness. So if you're colorblind, you probably know what tritonantopia is, or proto or duro. I don't know what any of that shit is, to be honest, other than just guessing it's different types of color blindness. Like some people can't see blues and greens, but I don't know what each one of those means. But you can do also a custom one. So if you want to keep defaults as default, set a custom one. Maybe for night, you switch to your custom one. Or if you just have a certain type of color blindness, you probably know what the name of that type you have is, and you can just automatically go to that preset as opposed to having to manually select each one for you. So really cool addition to the game. This came as like a Hack Week project thing, I think, originally, and then it got merged in, and a nice, just cool addition to the game. Now, next on the list, we have a huge improvement to building errors, and specifically how they're displayed and the verbosity of which they are displayed.
And sorry, Bugs, just to let you know, the wallpaper is on the store now as well.
Oh, beautiful. And what's the price point we're seeing?
We got £10.39 in GBP, but I'm not sure US.
Okay, cool. And I'm checking real quick on the Rust item store. Where is wallpaper skin? You'd think it'd be right on the front, but I'm not seeing it.
Got
That's
it on
weird. I'm not
general.
seeing it yet.
You got the general tab at the top, not limited.
Oh, there we go. Wallpaper. So USD, it's $12.99. Okay, cool. And yeah, so you can go get that wallpaper starter pack right now. And it doesn't say how many are available. Is it saying that in game if you click into it?
So it says 22.
22. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of options there for the wallpaper. And you'll also notice they did some improvements to the DLC in-store UI, user interface. And so the DLC items in game kind of give a better sense of exactly what you're going to get and have a prettier layout and all that stuff. So they did do some cool additions and transformations to the in-game store DLC page this month as well, which is also going live. And we had a feeling that would be the case because not only the wallpaper DLC going live today, but it looks like the Frontier DLC pack, which will include a bunch of cool stuff, including a really awesome looking hazmat suit and a new high caliber rifle, some Frontier tools, and even some Frontier high wall skins, which is going to be pretty cool. And it looks like that's going live next month, probably in October, with the world update and all those proc gen changes. So, given those DLCs launching, they decided to do some improvements to the in game store UI for DLC pages, which is cool. Anyway, back to building error improvements. What they've done is added some new toast style notifications for when you have a building area. And on top of that, they added much more clear language descriptions of what the building error is specifically. So instead of saying like general stuff like, oh, you just can't build here, and it showing up in the in game chat view, and you may be missing it because in game chat is spammed with a lot of garbage a lot of times, and it's easy to miss. Now it has the toast style notification, which shows up right in the center bottom of the screen. And it says things like you can't build on the road, you can't build close to bandit camp, it's not in terrain. There's a being blocked by a door, being blocked by something else. It even says if a player's standing there, it'll be like being blocked by player name. And so it's just a much better system for displaying building errors, and is definitely a great quality of life thing, especially for newer players in the game who might be trying to build and get super frustrated because they're like, why can't I build here? Like I can't build here, but tell me why. And now it will tell you why. So you have a better chance of being able to resolve that building error issue. And so that's the building error improvements, and that's also gone live with the update this month. Next on the list, we have some changes to dynamic pricing. Dynamic pricing came in the other month, and since it's in for the NPC vendors and things like that, we've been seeing some tweaks and changes already and previously. But what they did this month specifically was they changed the frequency in which the price updates on NPC vending machines. It was 5 real life hours before. And then what they did is they dropped it down to 3 hours. So instead of every 5 hours updating the prices, it's going to redo the prices every 3 hours by default. Now, here's the catch. This also changes depending on the server wipe time, which is detected by the server tag, which shows either weekly or bi-weekly or monthly. So if it's a monthly server, it'll be 3 hours. If it's a bi-weekly server, it'll actually update every 2 hours. And if it is a weekly server, it will now update those dynamic vendor prices every 1 hour. Now, this can be changed by the server owner if they want. So there's these two new convars: price update frequency weekly, price update frequency bi-weekly, all one word. And you can use that to change the number of hours if you're a server owner and for some reason you want to change those number of hours. I'll tell you, at Rustafied, we run vanilla, so we're just going to use whatever the default ones are, which is 3 hours for monthly, 2 hours for bi-weekly, and 1 hour for weekly servers. Now, there's also some various other things coming in this month. Again, I'll mention the aux 2 branch is open now as of this morning for all players to go check out the new world update stuff. Again, this has the new Legacy Radtown Monument. It has new wood piles. It has oases. Like literally the biggest changes we've seen to ProcGen in years is launching next month. And you can test it out on the aux 2 branch. And again, we'll have a full write-up of this and pictures next week. But I do plan on later today doing some tweets and updating my article on rustafied.com. If you're not aware, I do an article every week, every Thursday, midnight Eastern time. It goes live on rustafied.com, which summarizes everything in text and pictures. And I will update that today after the update in Force Swipe to give you some feel of what the aux 2 branch is looking like and what this world update is looking like. But super excited about that and super excited for the October update because, again, it's the biggest change to procedural map generation we've seen in years, and it looks really awesome. But anyway, enough of what's coming next month. This month, we also have some other stuff coming in. There's various performance fixes. I'm not going to go into details around that because honestly, I don't know the full extent of the details of it, but I did, tracking the commits this month, see a number of different things which were performance centric. And this is always welcome because both on the client and the server side, we could always use optimization. Having the game run better for people, both server and client, is always welcome. And so we are seeing some various performance fixes come in with the update today. Now, what impact will those performance fixes have? that remains to be seen. We really can't test this stuff out until the update goes live and we get like 700 people on a server, and then we can kind of see server FPS and things like that. But I have my fingers crossed and my intention set that these performance fixes show us having better performance. We did see performance was great, and then it was not so great as of the other month. We saw kind of a, and this is one of those things, kind of like the hacker situation that ebbs and flows. Some months we have better performance than other months. And we've been for the past month or so in kind of this slump of not so great performance, especially on the server end. And so to see some fixes and improvements to that is very welcome, especially as a server owner. So, and I can give you kind of a update next week on how that's looking post update once we get some more information on that. In other news, they added language support for the Arabic language. So if you are Arabic and you've been like, what the fuck does this menu say? Well, now you can go into the language options, select the Arabic flag, and have it in your native tongue, which is cool. That was another Hack Week project that has made it in. I will say, speaking of Hack Week projects, box sorting did not make it in this month, but it does look like box sorting will come in the near future. So potentially in October, we'll see that Hack Week project for box sorting come in as well, which is a really cool feature. We'll go into detail about that later on in the coming weeks as we see it get merged into staging. In other news, they reduced the homing missile launcher research cost, so it's going to be cheaper to research that homing missile launcher. They adjusted some reload animation timings to eliminate a few dead frames before you can fire. So that's going to be nice. It's just going to have certain reload animations on certain guns be more snappy and just feel like tighter, if that makes sense. As I mentioned before, they did some improvements to the in-game store DLC user interface, so those pages just, look a little better. They did some fixes to junk piles to prevent underground placement. That's a really cool thing because one of the things that causes server crashes for a while now actually is sometimes the junk pile is placed under the nav mesh. The nav mesh is like kind of this invisible barrier that matches the topology of the procedural map. And if something is spawned underneath it, like a junk pile, and then a junk pile scientist spawns underneath that, then the junk pile scientist is constantly looking for the nav mesh. And he's like, hey, where the hell do I go? He can't find it. And in those instances, we see the server slowly start crashing. And that's why sometimes you would need to disable AI temporarily on a server or things like that. And, it just causes the server to shut down. We need to restart. Everyone gets upset. And so hopefully this fix for the preventing underground placement for those junk piles resolves the scientists spawning under the nav mesh and is a big fix for one of the leading causes of server crashes. I'm not 100% that that's going to work, but hey, I'm glad they're working on it, and fingers crossed, hoping it resolves that issue once and for all. That would be great. Also, they did the traveling vendor no longer mark sleepers as hostile should they sleep near a road long enough. So a traveling vendor, if you go to sleep next to a road, isn't going to pull up next to you and just blast your sleeping ass away because it won't mark you as hostile. And why would it? You're sleeping. Just let you sleep in peace, am I right? They did some tweaks and fixes to the patrol helicopter behavior. I'm going to wait for the dev blog to go into too many specifics on this because I'll be honest. And again, if you're not aware, we're not developers of the game. We're just an independent organization who loves reporting on development news and running the best servers that we can. We've been doing it now for 11 years. So a huge thank you to the audience and everyone who supports us because we wouldn't be able to do this without you. But anyway, we're not developers, so I don't always know the specifics. And I'll be honest, specifically when they're doing changes to patrol helicopter, they're talking about like orbital targeting has been decreased by 20%. I'm like, I don't know what that means. But one of the things they did is made it so that the patrol helicopter will now patrol at 30 meters or ground height plus 30 meters, whatever is higher. And this should ensure the heli keeps a consistent height above the world when patrolling. So the helicopter should have a more consistent height. And they did some orbital changes with the targeting. So I don't know if it's going to target like more precise or less. I don't know. We'll check out the dev blog. But Along with those changes to the patrol helicopter, they did some fixes too. So maybe it won't flee as quickly, things like that. I know since they changed the helicopter behavior like 2, 3 months ago, a lot of people have been dissatisfied with it. And we have in subsequent months seen various fixes and tweaks to that behavior to get it more in line with what the devs are looking for. And so this is just another iteration on that based on what I'm seeing. They also added a big scary prompt for when you're pressing safe mode buttons in the options menu, and even a 5 second delay on that button to really make sure you want to go into safe mode if you want to go into safe mode. That's pretty much if you're having like some real big issues with the it crashing or the graphics. Sometimes you might want to go back into safe mode, but generally speaking, it's not something that people would normally want because it resets all your settings, I believe, and things like that. So they really want to make sure you want to go into safe mode before going into safe mode. They did some improvements to horse hitching. So if you're trying to hitch that horse up somewhere, it should behave better and be more like just logical and straightforward. They also did some improvements to train decoupling. I'm not aware of the specifics, but basically just improving the process of decoupling to trains because it wasn't behaving in the way that they wanted. Ooh, server update is live. And that's pretty early. Awesome. Look at that. Let me tweet about it real quick. And that is a great sign, ladies and gentlemen, that this update is coming out. It might even come out early. So get ready to update those clients because, as always, we update our servers like right now. We're starting to update our servers now that the server update is out. So we have them up as soon as possible. So it looks like potentially we could have these wipes happening before 2 p.m. Eastern and maybe 15 minutes before. Sometimes we'll see. If you're unfamiliar, oh, and let me change our new cool, we got a new cool overlay on the top left with a pulse and it animates a little bit. We were without the, if you missed, we were without the kind of status bar on the top left for a little while. But one of my guys, shout out Hex, just built that yesterday and it looks really nice. And kind of get it, we're on the pulse of Rust, see? So it's a server update. And yeah, server update's out. I just tweeted about it. If you're new to how all this works, basically the server update comes out first. And that generally happens 10, 15 minutes before the update goes out. And then the client update will hit. And that's when you can update your clients. And that's when we say the patch is officially live. And so given this server update hit, I'd say probably 10 minutes earlier than it normally does. It looks like we're on time or in store for either an on time or even early update. So get those update, get your Steam library ready to update. Yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Get ready to update, you know. So anyway, also train decoupling improvements. They fixed some map markers getting deleted when right clicking on pings on the map. And they added a config for global disable clouds to disable clouds. That's only a server owner thing, of course. You as a player are not going to be able to disable the clouds. But if you're a content creator or a server owner who does not like clouds, well, now you can disable them if you want. We got a couple things in other news, and then we'll get into some questions while we're waiting for this client update to go live. Specifically, trios, our EU and US trio servers are switching back to a bi-weekly wipe schedule. We switched to weekly the other month. Some people liked it, but we were getting a lot of angry feedback about it being a weekly wipe schedule. So we heard you. We ran a vote. The vote won to go back to bi-weekly. So our EU and US trios are going back to bi-weekly wipe with the update today. So every other week is when the trios will wipe going forward. This doesn't impact EU Monday trio. That's still a weekly wipe server that wipes on Monday, every Monday. But we heard you, and trios are going back to bi-weekly. Also, there's a charity event. The ladies of Rust are doing the You to Rust charity event starting next week. It's an awesome event, and it's going to feature a bunch of ladies of Rust streaming and raising funds. They've already raised some funds for Breast Cancer Research Foundation, and they're aiming to raise $8,008. So a boob amount of money is what they're looking to raise. And Misty put the donate URL in chat there. Go check it out and tune in for next week. They're going to be streaming on some of our servers for the event, doing some cool things. And shout out to all the ladies at Uterust for supporting this great cause and doing this charity stream. It's going to be September 12th to the 15th, 2 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. and 5 p.m. BST. And yeah, check it out. Start in 1 week. And then also on top of that, in 1 month and a little bit, we've got Charitable Rust is going live. That's our yearly charity event, which is going live on October 12th. Mark your calendars. That's one of the first Saturdays in, I think the second Saturday actually, in October. And we're going to be doing a 2x vanilla server. We are supporting the great charity called Direct Relief this year. It is a charity that brings aid to people in conflict zones all over the world. And given the unfortunate state of the world and how much conflict there is, well, we felt it was a great cause to be supporting. We're going to have more information on that in the coming week or so. We're going to have a trailer. We got some amazing skins that we're going to have on the item store, the proceeds of which go towards this amazing cause. And we're going to have Twitch drops for the week of the event. So definitely stay tuned for more information. But in the meantime, just mark your calendar, head over to the calendar app, go to October 12th, that's September in October, and mark it off. It's going to be 11 a.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern, a 12-hour live stream event, all raising funds for this amazing cause, Direct Relief. And this is going to be the 10th year running. We raised over $1.3 million for various charities over the past 9 years. We're looking to bring that over $1.5 million this year. And a huge shout out to everyone who is helping in production, helping spread the word, to all the skin creators who participated in the skin contest. We're going to have some finalization of the skins that are going to be in later this month. I apologize for any delay, but we really want to make sure we pick the best ones and get the feedback from Facepunch we need and all that good stuff. But stay tuned for more information on Charitable Rust. And with that, if you're just tuning in, the server update is live and it came out about 10 minutes earlier than we normally see. So this might be an early update today. And all we're looking for is the client update to come out. And then the dev blog should hit shortly after that as well. But when that client update hits, that's when we say the update is live and you want to go check out your Steam library and run the update. If you don't see the update, if we're like saying, hey, the client patch hit and you're not seeing it, just restart Steam. And generally speaking, that pings the Steam update servers and will queue that update for you. But in the meantime, Miss D, do we have any questions from the audience we want to cover?
Yeah, we do. I think we have to do a speed run to be able to get to them.
Yeah, let's do as many as we can.
Yeah. Is it a forced blueprint wipe today?
No.
But
Well, and that being said, it's not a forced blueprint wipe, but many charitable Rust, many Rustafied servers do wipe blueprints, and many other community servers choose to wipe blueprints with the forced map wipe each month. The exception of which for Rustafied servers is the medium threes, the long threes, and our mini servers. So if you're looking for a no blueprint wipe environment, check out one of those servers. And as always, you can go to rustafied.com/discord, check out server information channel in our Discord, and you can see the wipe schedules and blueprint wipe information and everything. You can even see a preview of the maps 4 hours before the wipe, so you can work with your team on where you want to set up after the wipe.
Can the digital clock be found in green military boxes or brown loot crate boxes?
You know, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure. I didn't spend the time to see exactly where they are found in loot. I'll try to do that after this, and if anything, update rustified.com. But I apologize. I actually don't know where you're going to be finding them, or if you're just going to have to unlock them through the tech tree.
Can you place wallpaper on the floor or the ceiling?
Nope, no ceiling wallpaper, no floor wallpaper. It is just wallpaper. So it can only be placed on the soft side, aka inside walls of your base. But it doesn't matter. You can place it on any tier of wall. It just needs to be, and any wall skin, but it just needs to be only soft side of the wall itself.
And with that, I saw someone asking if you can rotate the wall with the wallpaper, and if it breaks, and it does not break when you turn it.
Correct. Yeah. So if you're really crazy and you want to just have a funky looking base that you don't care if people raid really easily, you could technically have wallpaper on the outside, but then you're exposing your soft side of your walls. And generally speaking, that's not a great idea unless you've literally got nothing in there that you want to lose. But also, the wallpaper gets destroyed pretty easily, like a couple bullet shots, and potentially like 5 hatchet swings. So it is destroyed really easily.
Is the terrain changes today or next month?
No, those are next month. That world update body of work is available on aux 2 for everyone to test out as of today. So you can test it out, and we're going to be streaming from there next week, and I'll have a full rundown of all the changes and give in text and pictures. We might even do a video short about it. There's a lot of huge, awesome changes. Literally, the most changes we've seen to procedural map generation in years is coming in October. But no, it did not come in today.
Is there any update on the global rendering?
Not really that I've seen. It's still just kind of there, but not there, not recommended to use due to performance issues.
And can you tell a little bit about how people can get into AUX2 brands to test the new terrain?
Yeah, it's pretty easy actually. So if you go to your Steam library, you'll see you have Rust and then you also have Rust staging. You want to download Rust staging, but then if you right click on that and go to properties, there's a betas tab. And on that betas tab, you can actually, in the select dropdown, drop down and select aux 2 and then it'll run another update and then you just launch the game from there and then look for any server that's up and running. Facepunch should have an aux 2 server running and you can join that and run around the map and see all the cool new changes, the rivers, the lakes, the oases, oasi,
Always
I
see.
don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure. And canyons and new wood piles that are apparently kind of OP at the moment. And there's new dive sites. There's ocean wreck buoys. There's radioactive water as well. There's a bunch of cool stuff coming for the October update. And again, yeah, that's available for testing on aux 2 as of this morning. And yeah, just go to Rust Staging, right click in your Steam library, Rust Staging, go to Properties, Betas tab, select aux 2, run the update, and then load up the game, join whatever server you can find.
And also, if you do want to go back to normal staging instead of AUX, you have to select none. Then you go back.
Yes.
It's downloading the normal staging back again.
Yeah, thank you, Misty, for that clarification.
You're welcome. What are the changes? Hold on. What are the changes to patrol heli behavior?
As I was saying before, that's one of those branches where I'm reading it, and as a layman, I'm like, I don't know what that means most of the time. Most of the time. Now, one of the main ones, along with a bunch of just fixes to stuff, like there was, it wasn't always showing the damage FX or something apparently, so it should be showing that more. Another one that we're seeing is that the patrol heli will fly at 30 meters or ground height plus 30 meters. So it should basically keep a more consistent height when flying around. And there were some changes to like the orbital targeting, but I'm not 100% on if that makes it more accurate and more deadly or not. But we should see it in the dev blog, which, ooh, look at that. Client update is out. Let me tweet about it real quick. And that's awesome. We got kind of an early update today. And definitely go restart your Steam if you're not seeing it. But the client update is out. Go update those clients. And we should have our servers coming up pretty shortly here, if not already.
Ready?
Cool. Yeah, I tweeted about it. And yeah, we're going to wind this puppy down in a couple minutes.
I think we have a few more. So
But we
let's
could
do it
do,
fast.
yeah, we could do a couple questions real quick here. But yes. Oh, and I got to update my new Nifty thing. Let's see, patch live. There we go. All right,
Does
awesome.
does the change to junk pile spawn prevent lootables from downing just below the mesh?
Yeah, it should, hopefully. That was a big issue with the junk piles just spawning below the map a bit. and that would create various issues, including that. And hopefully that is now resolved.
Does the wallpaper affect the box placement? It does not.
No. And I want to let you know all of the Rustified servers, with the exception of one or two of our odd servers, our Monday Wipe servers, are up now. The odds are booting right now, but we have all of our servers are up. So as soon as you get that client update, hop on in and go check out the Rustified servers because they're all updated and wiped as of right now.
And how is the stats going for the Rustafied servers? For play
Oh, I'm
stats?
so excited about how it's coming along. We've got the views being finalized now. We've got the ingest system pulling like really performantly. We can process like millions of actions per second without an impact on server performance. We've got some really cool stuff coming with the leaderboard and the stat system, which should go live later this fall. And we'll have more information on that, but I'm super stoked about our brand new custom built leaderboard stat system. My goal is to have it be unlike any other stat system, provide you more information, a really clean user interface, a mobile friendly user interface, and eventually we're going to be adding more detailed stats for our VIP customers. And it looks like we'll never have to reset these stats, so the data will be aggregated for eternity. Well, that's long for years. Let's put it that way. Let's leave it there for the time being. But yeah, I'm super excited about the stats and leaderboard system coming for Rustified. And again, that should be going live later this fall. And should we do a quick recap before we wind this puppy down for people just tuning in? Okay. So the server update, the client update is live. So the patch is officially live. I don't think that devblog has launched yet. Oh, it is. Time to kill. Oh, I like their... Oh, I'm getting a 404 on that. But it looks like the devblog is going live or about to go live. But anyway, a quick recap before we wind this puppy down. Needless to say, make sure you're updating your Rust clients now because the update's out and all Rustified servers are up and updated. So yeah, we've got coming in today. It's not the world update stuff, so it's not the big changes and new monument. That's coming in October, it looks like. But we do have a digital clock with 5 alarms and an electronic pass-through, so when an alarm goes off, you can trigger electronic devices. We've got wallpapers and a wallpaper pack DLC, so you can do a new form of base decoration like you've never been able to do before. You do get some default wallpapers, like 4 colors if you want. And then the DLC pack has like 22 different wallpapers with various different designs and patterns and all this cool stuff. They only go on the soft side of the wall. They don't protect you against a raid or anything. You can re-spray them with the spray can and change the skin of them with that. It's 10 cloth. It's default blueprint. 10 cloth will craft you 2 of them. So basically 5 cloth a wallpaper. And again, they only go on the soft side of walls in your base. Very cool. Also, there's the gas compression overdrive internal weapon mod that's coming in. What this does is it uses compressed gases directed through the barrel to give you more projectile velocity, 30% more projectile velocity, 20% jump in damage. Now, there is a trade-off. Your fire rate is slowed by 20% and your recoil is increased by 10%. So, and it can only be added to a SAR, a custom SMG, Thompson, M39, M92, and semi-pistol. So it's not for every weapon, but it is for some of them. There's also awesome colorblind options. So whether you're colorblind or not, you might want to check this out because you can change the color of various things like tree markers, vital bars, team UI, and even the hollow sight reticle can be changed. And so you have a select number of options of colors for each like item category, but it's a cool thing. Check it out in the escape menu options accessibility when you get the update installed. And then there's also improvements to building errors. So basically there's now a cool new toast kind of style pop-up in the bottom middle of your screen when you have a building error, something can't be placed, instead of showing up like just down in the in-game chat. And on top of that, there's much more descriptive text and descriptions when you can't. So it's like too close to a low wall, or you're on a road, or it's being blocked by a player, or you're too close to this monument. So it really gives you a lot more details into why building is not being able to be placed. as opposed to just leaving you to try to figure it out yourself. There's dynamic price changes. So for the vendors, the NPC vendors, basically, instead of updating every 5 hours, it'll update the prices every 3 hours for a monthly server, every 2 hours for a bi-weekly server, and every 1 hour for a weekly server. So it's just going to be more quick updates to the prices for those dynamic uh, prices on the NPC vendors. There's various other things, performance fixes, Arabic language support, reduced homing missile launcher research cost, some improvements to reload animation timings to eliminate dead frames to make it like just snappier and tighter for certain reloads so you can shoot quicker. There's improvements to the in-game DLC store user interface. They did some fixes for junk piles to prevent them from spawning underground. The traveling vendor no longer marks sleepers near the road as hostile and shoots them. They did some tweaks to the patrol helicopter. It should be more even as far as the height as it travels the terrain and various other things. Check the dev blog. They added a big scary prompt for going into safe mode so you don't accidentally do it. And there's improvements to horse hitching and train decoupling, and a fix for map markers getting deleted when they shouldn't, and a new admin CVAR for disabling clouds. It's disable_clouds. You as a player can't do it, but if you're an admin who hates clouds, well, you can disable them now. Also, real quick again, trios are back to a bi-weekly wipe schedule. EU trio and US trio will wipe bi-weekly now. We heard you. Thank you for the feedback. Could have used a little less name calling maybe, but no, it's okay. I got a thick skin. We've been in this for 11 years. My skin's pretty thick now, but we are switching it back to bi-weekly. Also, Uterust is next week. It's an awesome ladies run charity event. So go check it out. Tune in next week. They're going to be playing on one of our servers and doing some awesome stuff. And so make sure next week to check that out. It's the 12th to the 15th. And also, Charitable Rust is next month, October 12th. Mark your calendars. We'll have a trailer and some more information going live, but we're supporting Direct Relief. Awesome, awesome organization, bringing aid to people in conflict zones around the world. And that, unfortunately, is much needed now given the state of the world. But yeah, we'll have more information on that. We're going to have Twitch drops and item store skins available for purchase, the proceeds of which go to this amazing cause. And yeah, that's about it. That's what we got going on.
We have a raid to do.
And we have a raid to do. Thank you for that reminder, because I always forget. After rambling for an hour, I always forget to do the raid. So we're going to wind this puppy down. Once again, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. We are an independent organization. We're not developers of the game. We're not on the FacePunch payroll. We're just an independent organization who loves reporting on development news and running the best servers that we can. And the only way that we can do that week after week, month after month, shit, we've been doing this 11 years now. It's through the support of the community. So to all you who tune in and watch, to people who give bits, subscribe on Twitch, play on our servers, and our wonderful, beautiful, loyal VIP customers, thank you all so very much for the support. We'll keep this up as long as we can. And yeah, I hope you all. Oh, also, thank you to the whole team at Rustafied. Thank you, Artemis and Miss D, as always, for being my co-MCs.
You're welcome, as always, Bugs.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Now breathe.
Don't mind me as I hyperventilate over here. Also, shout out to FacePunch and all the devs over at FacePunch for another awesome monthly update and for staying with this game and keeping this unicorn of a game awesome and improving month after month, year after year. Thank you, FacePunch. Much love to you. Much love to you all for tuning in. We'll be back next week, same time, same place, to show off on Aux 2. We'll show off all the world update stuff and all the changes to procedural map generation. In the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful week and a wonderful wipe. This is Bug signing off, but not too quick because we're going to do a raid real quick. So 1 second.